Today's alternators and starters come with some really cool features like OCP, over crank protection, and IMS, integral magnetic switch style starters. Let's go ahead and take a look at those first.
Yeah, the integral magnetic switch. Well, it's located right here at the top of the starter, and this is really cool because it really does two things. The first thing it does, it employs these big wire gauges right here that's going to allow for current flow with less resistance, no voltage drops. Once again, we're getting the full voltage down to it so we can get that pinion engagement. Secondly, it's a low resistance solenoid. If I have low resistance, I allow the voltage to go through for positive pinion engagement. Now that's huge. You're trying to crank over one of these big rigs. It's got a lot of compression. I want this pinion to pop out there, engage that flywheel, and I don't want any damage on a starter when I'm investing something like this. And I can actually show it to you in action, but you got to hang on to it because it actually kicks out there real nice. Watch the instantaneous, how it pops out there and how fast it pops out there. And really that's due to that IMS. It's popping out there really well and it's getting positive engagement. Now another one is that OCP Chase was talking about, over crank protection. It's located right here in the back of the starter. You actually blown one apart for us.
Yeah, I took this whole starter apart, and here it is right here, over crank protection, OCP. It's like a thermal switch. It's going to open and close with heat. So as it gets hot, it's going to open and protect our starter. So if you have any high amp draw, like the engine's hard to turn over, weak battery, bad cables, anything that can cause massive heat, this will open up and protect that starter from damage.
Yeah, and it's really cool because it's located right here in the negative brush. So what happened is the current flow is going through here and it returns to the negative brush. It's encapsulated in steel for good thermal transfer. So what happens if it's cranking over, you know, some of these big rigs in cold climates, they have to crank them for a while and crank them for a while.
Definitely.
You don't want to damage the starter, so this is going to open. Works as a circuit breaker, if you will. The internals are a little bit different, but it's just like a circuit breaker. And I can show you how a circuit breaker works right over here on our board. It's pretty cool. So what's happening? Anytime current flow or current starts to happen really fast, it's going to go faster than the circuit can handle. If you have one of these protection devices in there, what's going to happen is it's going to open. This is a bimetallic strip, and what a bimetallic strip does, it gets hot with current flow and opens. I can actually show it to you once again. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to short this circuit out. You wouldn't want to do this, but I'm going to go and just take the positive and run them right to the negative. What's that doing? It's causing the amps to run really fast. Well, if it was cold weather, thick oil, mechanical resistance, electrical resistance, driver error, no matter what it is, if he's cranking and cranking that thing, the amps are going to run, it's going to get hot. Man, that's going to protect it every time.
Sure will.
Just like this circuit breaker will. So if I come over and hit this, that's it. Man, that was a welder. Then as soon as it cools down, bam, comes back on. Exactly what's going to happen there. It's going to protect that starter.
It's sure going to make these starters last a lot longer.
We need to turn our attention to the alternator because it has cool features as well. All right, we're talking alternators. Now we have an alternator right here, and we actually have a remote sense terminal on this alternator, which is really cool because if you have a remote sense alternator with the terminal on there and the factory didn't come with remote sense, you can now add it, which is great. What is remote sense? Well, it's pretty cool. It's actually going to sense the voltage that the battery needs so it can go ahead and put out what it needs. So number one, you're not cooking the battery. Number two, you're not cooking the alternator. Perhaps you're going down the road, there's not many accessories on. I don't need a bunch of voltage coming out of here. This is going to sense it. It's going to save the alternator and the battery.
Sounds like it. Why don't we go ahead and install one? You got some instructions there. You can guide me right through it.
Yeah, that's it. We've got the instructions right here, and that's the key because you want to follow instructions to a T because you got a couple terminals on here and we want to get it right, including torque specifications. Let's not forget that. Number one was disconnect the negative battery cable. So if you're working on a semi, make sure, or anything, and matter of fact, disconnect that negative battery cable, get it out of the system because this guy's hot with the positive on it 24/7.
Sure is.
All right, and then what we want to do is we want to remove the nut from the alternator battery terminal and remote sense terminal. So you want to take both nuts off. Which is your terminal?
This is our bat terminal right here. I already removed the nut.
Okay.
And here's our remote sensing wire right here, and I've removed that nut. We're ready to go.
Okay, so you take both those nuts off. The alternator is going to come with them. Make sure you get them off, all right? Place a jumper lead, crimps up between the remote sense and battery terminal, and tuck the wire in.
Yeah, that's super important. You want to make sure you turn these in nice. Make sure they're turned up, and you want to slide it right down inside of here. Make sure they're not going to get in contact with anything, get any damage. There we go. That's how we want it.
So that's good. So you don't want this wire to chafe, you don't want it up, you don't want it popped up, just leave it on there. They give you a nice little wire that goes right in here where you don't have any bends or any crimps or any problems where you're not going to have anything in the future that's going to be a problem. All right. Then we're going to go ahead. It says replace the hardware for the remote sense terminal finger tight.
Okay. We got a little lock washer here, and we got our nut. I'll go ahead and get it on finger tight.
All right. Once you do that, you're going to go ahead now and remove it from the battery terminal. So you got it in place, it's looking good. They want you to remove it, and we'll show you why in a minute.
All right, here's our bat terminal here. We'll pull this up. All right.
All right, perfect. And now you can install the vehicle's battery cable. Remember, you're going to be working on the car, so you're going to have a battery cable coming from the positive over to it. You can go ahead and put it on. You're safe. Remember earlier we disconnected the negative battery cable. This is why. This cable's hot, so be careful with that one. All right. Once you got it on there, you want to replace a washer in between that and the sense lead. So you can go ahead.
Here.
Perfect.
In between here, our battery battery wire and our remote sense.
Put your sense back on there with that battery so you're making a good contact.
No problem.
All right, then you can put the nut on the battery terminal, and the key here is to torque it between 15 and 70 inch-pounds. So go ahead and put your nut on there and get it started.
Put a lock washer on there to hold on tight.
Now, two things here. Number one, torque is key, all right? So I got the torque wrench set up here. I got it set right in the middle to about 25. I'm happy with that. Once you get it snugged up, two things. You want to torque it, number one. Number two, you want to hold these terminals, because when you're torquing it, you don't want them to spin and round off or do any damage. It's causing resistance, especially you don't want anything to touch the case.
Definitely.
So you want to make sure they're up in the right position. Then I'll come back.
Turn it.
All right, great. And I'll turn it down.
Yep.
And once it starts to get snug, you can feel it tightening up. Now this is small, it's a small, oh, there it goes. That's all there is to it. There's really not much to 15 to 25 or 75 torque. I mean, that's inch-pounds, not foot-pounds. Make sure you use inch-pounds. Now the last step here is torque the remote stud lug nuts to 15 to 25. So I'll take this, I'll back it down a little bit to about 20 just to be safe, all right? Change sockets.
I'll hold this wire again.
If you're holding that wire, once again, we don't want that to touch, we don't want it to short out. So a good visual inspection while you're doing it, it's definitely in order. Come down here. Oh, that's it. Yeah, it doesn't take much.
Not much.
Yep, now I want to go back, just make sure they're good and tight, secure. My lugs aren't broken, they're not wobbling around, I'm not getting any shorts, I'm not getting any problems. And guess what? You got remote sense.
Yeah, it's definitely going to save that battery and alternator.
It is. Now, if you have a 34, 35, or 36 SI replacement alternator, remote sense is the way to go.